That's all I got to say. And so now I hand it over to you, where it sounds like you watched a much better movie than I did.
Yeah, mine had a plot. So if you want to set up the timer and all that. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Hello. I don't know what to say. We're spinning a wheel, but later today, yeah.
I was waiting for your hint about what you watched.
No, let's just say it wasn't. Okay, here's the hint. Okay, so context for everyone. I told Hop what I mentioned what I watched or said my feelings about it, which I'll get into when it's my turn. And the frequent listener, I told Kate. Oh,
okay.
I was like, ooh.
You're gonna dox me off my first name. Nobody has his first name.
As I said multiple times, this is funny because now I like when I talked with the frequent listener, I always use your name, and now I use your name more than I use your online name.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been different if I was still actively probably streaming or putting out content somewhere, so it's easier to like see my name, but you don't really see it anywhere anymore.
Yeah, so even when I would be playing games with people that like we played games before, and I have to just like do a mental pause and be like, Hop. But yeah, so I mentioned a Hop of what the frequent listener's quote was just that you wasted your time watching that. Now I will say, the series I watched was inspired by a series that we watched for this show.
Interesting. Okay, we'll see. Well, I'll be pleasantly surprised to find out what it is. But yeah, so if this is your first time dropping in and you're a little confused, that's okay. Sometimes we are.
So are we.
This year we've been spinning a wheel with a bunch of different prompts. We both go off and watch our own movie to fulfill that prompt and come back and tell each other what we watched and explain it. And either sell it to each other or say, no, you don't need to watch this. And I feel like I'm getting a no, you don't need to watch this vibe from you.
No, you don't.
So this week's prompt, if it wasn't fully hinted to you or you didn't catch the title, is the last movie of a series you have never watched before. And I will say, I surprisingly had a hard time finding a series I hadn't watched that was popular, because I was like, I haven't watched all of them, but I've watched one of those. For a second, I was like, maybe I'll do like the old X-Men, because I know there's like a weird 2017 or 2018 one. I've owned, out of the entire series, I've watched Logan in theaters. So technically I have seen part of the series. So yeah. I had different...
Yeah, I would have said if you were watching the original trilogy, because that's kind of its own
bucket. That's fair.
Yeah, Logan's kind of like the end of like that whole saga, and then they brought him back.
Yeah, so. Where Hugh Jackman was allowed to retire as Wolverine, and they went, hey, Deadpool's doing a movie. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I haven't watched a lot of the Lord of the Rings, but I have seen the first one. I haven't watched a lot of like tidbits of things, so I had a few that I was going to try and watch, but it was last night, and even though all the DVDs were available at my library, the library was already closed by the time I was done running my personal errands, like grocery shopping and whatnot. So I had to find something online. But I was pretty happy with my choice. I was a little confused in the beginning, but I got there. So the other series I debated on, I was like, how funny would it be if I only ever have seen the last Mission Impossible movie? That is really funny.
Oh my goodness, I was so close to doing that as well.
And then the other one I considered was the last Fast and Furious. I think Fast X is the newest one.
Yeah, that was something I was like, I wish I didn't watch other Fast and Furious, because like, I know it's not a popular opinion for some movie watchers, But I love the path that the Fast and Furious movies have gone on because it's like
I
it went
remember.
from serious street to like this is a live action anime.
Yeah, I saw one trailer. I don't. Oh, I was watching a very silly movie that I probably didn't need to pay for in theaters, but Strider and I, when we were younger, we used to watch a lot of like the sci-fi, like before they changed their name movies. So we went and paid money to watch. Oh, I don't even remember the name, but basically the idea was there were giant satellites changing the weather, and it was like a whole movie surrounding it. And the one one of the guys who only ever plays villains in movies, so much so that there was an older couple next to us, and the husband pointed, "That's the bad guy," and the wife's like, "Shh, how do you know?" And he's like, "He doesn't play any other guy. That's the bad guy." And Strider leaned over and went, "Yeah, he's not wrong." But the trailer for that had one of the Fast movies in it where they launched, like, if it wasn't a missile strike, it was like a submarine torpedo or something, and it was on ice, and one of the guys hung out of a car and redirected the nuke, and I just stared at Strider, and Strider went, "Fast and Furious." Like, I was like,
Yeah.
what is on my screen? And they were driving up the Hoover Dam, and I was like, huh?
Yeah.
So, but surprisingly, all of those DVDs would have been at my library. I just, like, didn't make it in time. But, so that is funny that you thought about, like, also watching one of those.
Yeah. Well, you want to know one of the ones I thought of it, but I'm like, nah, I'm good. The last Harry Potter, because I haven't watched any of those, and I was like,
Don't give
it
them
would
money.
be funny, but I'm like, I don't. As funny as it would be, I don't care enough, and I don't. I'm good.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna tell me that you watched the last Twilight movie, because that would be really funny.
I almost did that, but okay. So I never watched a Twilight movie, but I saw half of one against my will.
So you were like, okay.
I'm like, technically, I have watched part of Twilight, and because that did go through my mind. Because I remember I was driving. This is when I was in college. I was like on the transportation team, and I had to drive a student to, I guess like a boarding house where they were kind of like helping volunteer. And, like, I was sitting there waiting for somebody or something. Like, I don't remember. I was waiting for something. I don't know if it was, like, pretty much waiting for they were good or finished their time. Because, like, pretty much a lot of the drivers would just, like, drop people off and then just, like, go fart around somewhere else. And I'm like, I don't feel like driving. So I would just kind of just hang out there and be like, all right, cool. And then leave, and then just like, hey, you're done, let's go. Yeah, so like I was just sitting there and in the lobby, and one of the kids just had Twilight on, and I ended up watching, like, it was just there while I was like, all right, and I watched like the first like half of the movie, and I'm like, I had no clue what was happening because I didn't know what Twilight was.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I didn't even know what Twilight was. So I'm just like, okay. So I did think of that. Trying to think of some other series. There were so many series that I was looking up that I was just like, I've watched all of them, or I watched half of them, or
some of them from the podcast, like Alien and Predator.
Yeah. Yeah, there was that. There was Star Trek, Star Wars. And like I was trying to do so many searches of like what are some like lesser known and like what are some international things, but then it was like some of the international ones like, no, I actually want to watch that whole series, so I don't want to know what the end is.
Yeah, I had that too, where I was like, oh, that series looks like, wait, that's a trilogy of movies that I probably would like.
Yeah.
And then there are some that, like, you know, there's horror movie franchises. I also considered those, but I've seen Halloween now. I've seen, like, Friday the 13th, etc. And then the one that I haven't seen yet is Scream. And I'm like...
Yeah, I almost did that one too.
Yeah, but I've heard, like, there's weird stuff with the newer movies about actors getting fired, so I don't want to, like, give money to that one. I would like to watch the original, even though I've had it spoiled. Ones that I thought about watching were unfortunately also like straight to DVD. Like they were that bad. Like
Yeah.
I Know What You Did Last Summer has like a third movie, and I could not find that anywhere because like it doesn't have any of the original cast. It's one of those like, yeah, spiritually we're in the same series, but like we're just trying to try it again.
Yeah, and then just trying to find anything that worked. I was like, there was some that were like, this isn't like an official trilogy. It's kind of like how the David Lynch movies that we watched, where it's
Hollywood,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, where fans consider it a trilogy, but it's not like an official trilogy. There was one that was like that, but it like Old Boy was part of it.
Oh, I did see that pop up. Oh, and I saw another one that was like one of those like thriller movies, kind of like Silence of the Lambs has that too, right? Where like the first two have them, and then the third one is kind of like a prequel or something. Like it's a weird.
Yeah. So, but anyway, all that being said was, I wasted my time with my movie.
I would be glad to hear what it is. So, does that mean you're ready to roll some dice?
Yeah.
Yes, a yap first. So you won last week. So what's your dice of choice?
I'm choosing a D4 because just
you want
like
a
how.
tie?
Oh no! I just thought the D4 is so difficult to pick up, and since this was one that was very difficult to find.
You want the painful dice for your painful movie?
Yeah, hopefully I don't drop this. Yeah.
Okay, I have rolled my dice. So if anyone is curious about our dice rolling, we do it to see who gets the yap first about their movie. For this series, we've kind of changed the rules every series, and we've added a bunch of rules for this series. But the base one...
The fun thing is, we will never be doing this fun thing again of where we add a new rule.
Yeah, we've learned our lesson. So, yeah, we roll dice. We're doing lowest goes first to change it up. And each week we choose a different die to roll just to see what happens. So I rolled a 3.
Oh, so did I.
It's time! So what happens when we get a tie?
If we tie, it resets the count. So that means... Alright, so there is no winner or loser anymore.
Okay.
This is like a bummer time for it to happen.
Because there's no in a row right now.
Yeah, there's no in a row. Because when I wrote that rule, there was a lot of rules for... Like
3 times, 2 times.
Yeah, so it's just like, okay.
So do we want to come up with a joint rule?
I guess so. Like maybe if it's another tie rule. So
if we tie, or just if we tie.
Yeah, or try. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It could be either or. Let's see.
What would be
if we
silly?
tie, we just go. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say if we tie, the loser of last week picks the dice to re-roll. How's that?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, not too.
So what are we rolling now? Yeah,
all
what
right.
are we rolling now?
Let's see, what have we not rolled in a little while?
That's the other reason why I chose a D4.
Let's do a D12.
All right.
My brain farted. I was like, it looks like a 20, but it's not the 20. And I started to pick up the 20, and I was like, no, I said not the 20.
Well, I rolled.
I rolled a 12.
So did I. No lie.
What do we do now? This one is statistically much less likely to tie on.
Yeah.
Well, this is a first. Even in all our time of rolling dice throughout all the years of
we never tied twice.
Yeah.
The not even fate wants us to talk about this episode. Okay. I say we institute an overarching rule. How about this? If we tie 3 times in a row, it's instead of removing one rule or everything, it's I kind of like, okay, so what if we switch, if we go over, well, all rules are reset, but I kind of like the whole tempt fate of if we tie 3 times, all rules are reset.
Yeah.
So maybe
Go ahead and change
we
that one.
Yeah, maybe we set that to, if we go over, we remove 2 rules.
So then...
And then if it's a, if we tie 3 times, all rules are reset except this one.
Oh, okay.
So
that's right. Oh. And then you're updating the...
Yeah, I updated that one.
All right, so I already picked the last die. You pick the die again.
All right. Let's do... Alright, you did a D12. What's one that we haven't done? We just did D8, D12, D6s I see on there twice, D12. You know what would be not set up now, but it would be also fun to have the dice counter on here, so that way we know which one hasn't been chosen in a while. I only see D10 on here once, so let's do D10.
Okay.
Alright. Are the rules staying?
Let's see. I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 2.
Oh, it's like a 5 upside down.
Wait.
Alright, so you get to open up the episode with your favorite movie you've ever watched for the podcast.
Alright, let me inscribe on the notes here.
Yeah, while you're taking those notes, I'll let the listeners know you are safe from spoilers. I can tell from how we're talking we did not watch the same movie, so we will not be going into spoiler town. Well, I guess Deepin can choose to spoil his movie if he thinks it's so bad that you shouldn't have to watch it. But I will say I won't have spoilers in my talk, at least.
Right. So, you guys all heard a little bit of our plight of how difficult it is to find any of these movies. And so after looking, I was like, okay, which is really funny that you brought up, hey, sci-fi, like a sci-fi satellite movie. Yes. Because that's where I went. I was like, all right, I can't find anything here that I already haven't watched or not really interested in watching. So let me go to the Sci-Fi Channel, because, hey, I remember watching Sharktopus. And I really enjoyed Shark. Yeah, and I was like, there's got to be something close to it. And which, funny enough, I can't remember if I mentioned this before or told you, but in the Dungeon Crawler Carl, there is a Sharktopus in it.
That's fun.
So I was looking, and there was a couple movies like, okay, this one looks interesting, this one looks fun. And then there was one that had 6 movies.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, five movies. And it will make sense why I got mixed up in saying 6. It was also a shark-related series.
Okay.
I watched the movie Six-Headed Shark Attack.
So, does every movie have an additional head on the shark?
Yes.
Yes! Sorry that it was a waste of time. You love Santa Jaws, too.
I do. So, it was... Okay. And so here's the thing. I don't know if there's shark... multiple... The Hydra shark, whatever, set up... if the other 4 movies before it, because it starts off with 2-headed shark attack, and then it's a 3-headed shark attack, and then 4, and then 5. Like it just builds up into it, and there are things that I thought were hilarious in it, but it's just overall like it's if you just look up some of the shorts for it, it's like it's bad CGI. It was, there's like the story kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Okay.
The shark itself even makes less sense, and it's just like, I don't know if it's something like, am I just missing out on shark lore? Because it sounds like at the end of this movie, it's not like a different mutated shark. It is the same shark in every movie because it's yeah. So essentially kind of the same thing as Sharktopus, if you guys remember those episodes. If you haven't, go back, or even better, watch them, because those ones were silly and fun. This one was just silly and more on the lines of dumb. But pretty much there's government experiments.
Yes.
And I don't really care. I'm just gonna spoil this movie. It's
not that serious of a movie.
yeah. Where we learn later that the government was they learned that sharks were able to regenerate, and so they were like, hey, can we take that regeneration and put it in humans? And somehow in the whole process, they made a multiple-headed shark. And the multiple-headed shark, in all its stuff, was it started off as a two-headed shark, and then every time it almost died, they ended up it would regenerate another head. So it's like when it was close to death, it would regenerate another head. So in every movie, it almost died, but then since it almost died, it regenerated. So now it started off with 2, now it's on 6. And
Infinite
I think
movies.
yeah. But except they kind of ran out of space on the shark to put heads.
So are they like long-necked heads? Are they
let me see if I can find a picture. Let's see.
Because I'm imagining a hexagon of shark heads. All kind of like stacked on top of each other, weirdly.
There's not like a great picture here. It's like let's see. Oop, that's it. Because there's like one picture that they're like showing. Let me see. If I click on videos, is there one that here we go. Oh, I'm gonna mute this because it's gonna play in my ears. Let me just see, because I think this gives a good picture. Yeah. Okay. So I'll let you watch this clip here.
Okay.
That kind of explains the production level and.
It's so wide.
Yes, it is. It is like a circle of shark heads, and a tail. So while you're watching that, here's the premise of the movie.
2018, and it looks like this?
Yeah. So, they pretty much, we are on this deserted island that they're there, and what they're trying to do is like this tough, remote marriage counseling restoration island where these couples are going, and they're like they have like bare bones level of stuff, and they're just trying to restore their marriages by like being forced to work together. And when they're there, it's like we learned that the guy, it's like, hey, we came for like your wife. Where's your wife? And he's like, let's do this instead. We find out that his wife divorced him or something like that, and she is in the process of divorcing him, and to make a different like to do something in the city. And I don't know if there's this other person that he's like, I don't know if these characters are in the other movies. Like it just like it feels like I should know who these characters are, but I don't. Like I don't know if they're in another part of the movie, which I feel like if you survived a 6-headed shark attack, you wouldn't, or a shark attack, you wouldn't want to have business where you have to go to a deserted island only by boat. But anyway, so they're all going there and everything, and like his help gets attacked by the six-headed shark, and he finds evidence of it and then realizes, holy crap, all the couples just went out to like swim out to this barge to get like the supplies that they need. So he's like, oh my goodness, and instead of telling them to like come back, he swims out to them, and in the process of him swimming out, the body of one of the helps like just like gurgles up out of the water with all this blood, and it's just everyone's like, oh my goodness. And they get to the boat that got him there, and like for some reason all the radios are scrammed so they can't leave and everything, and he's like, one of my people are missing and I can't leave without her. And so he's like, I need to go back. And then the clip I sent you is where this guy who thinks he's a tough dude is like
trying to do the thing and get CGI floated in half.
Yes. So he so he's like, oh, I know how to deal with this. And like he's got like an accent, he's got this tough voice. He's like, that's right. And he's like, I got to make a boomstick. And it's just like he takes a flare, puts it in a pipe, and then attaches a knife or something to it. And he's like, this will take care of it. And so we learn out later that like they made this guy sound like he was this big tough guy that was like in the outback. He's a car salesman in New York.
Oh, good. Good.
And like his wife is like, looks almost like 20 years younger than him.
Oh, good.
Maybe 10, I don't know, somewhere in there. But she's like, I never let him go hunting. And just like, okay, cool. Don't know why that was the whole reason you guys came here. The
plot point, yeah.
Yeah, for them. So anyway, like we learned how like all these couples like kind of at the end of the movie, like pretty much as we were going forward, they're like, oh man, this is how we're gonna save our marriage, or blah blah blah, this. And but yeah, so he goes, kills, and then he takes off the head, and then the shark rips off the dead head. And the funny thing is, they just replay that scene so many times. Like there's so many times that specific head gets hurt, and the shark's like, rips it off, and it just regrows.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, it's like it. They just wait a little bit and the head regrows and all that stuff. So they're doing that, and so the whole thing is like he tells them, don't drive the boat, okay? Keep the boat here. We're just gonna do a quick search, and like they get to the point where it's like, okay, we can't go here. Well, the people's like, oh, we got to go help them. We do that, and so while they go and move the boat, which I'm pretty sure the boat is a sailboat, like uses wind power, like it's a
no motor or anything.
Yeah. But they're like, we're not getting any power. And it's like, I can see the end of the boat. There's no motor. there's nothing there, and they're just like, it's not moving. And I'm like, okay. So they run the boat onto rocks, and they're just like, oh. And there's a hole in the hull. It's gonna sink all that stuff. And they're like, well, they come back and it's like, okay, we all have to go back. And it's just like, this is the best time to do that because the shark's hurt or missing, blah blah blah. All that being said, like, so that's the whole point of it. It's just like, hey, we're going here. They finally get in touch with somebody, and then with his wife, and she comes back. Is like, oh, we got to help you. And they have like a motorboat, which it's not. It feels like this island that they're on is like almost a day or two away from any mainland.
Okay.
And the boat that they're riding on, it's like the power boat. It's just like the small little, like, one that you just take out to go fishing. And so, like, not like a small boat. It's like it's still a decent sized boat, but not one that you're spending like a day on.
Yeah, there's no like quarters or anything. It's just yeah.
And so like they're coming in, and they have to get like the lighthouse lit and all that stuff, and so that way they can see where it is. And then the I'm going so far out of order, but the shark like does a Flash maneuver, like Flash, the superhero, and starts swimming in a circle and creates a whirlpool and sucks the boat down. But at the last second, like the guy that she's either business partners or dating or whatever, I don't know the relationship. He kicks her out of the boat and she's swimming to land, and like the guy's like, quick, make, like her ex-husband or is just like, quick, come, and the shark eats her, and it's just like she had the most pointless thing in this movie. She showed up for like 3 scenes and dies.
Oh, good.
So, but all that is there's like 3 quick set pieces. How much time is left? Okay, I can sum this up real quick. I got like 8 minutes. So they hint that there's a lab on the island, and I'm thinking almost like Resident Evil like style lab, where it's just like there's a
Sterile
facility.
and-
Yeah, not so much sterile, but it's just like it's there. There's a like building, a room, and they're like, they mentioned it's just like, oh no, it's like on rafts and stuff, so it's like it sets on the ocean and all stuff. I'm like, okay. They get there, it's a shack that is like on like, oh, do they have a picture of this?
It's that hard to describe, or it's just I
just
gotta see it to believe it.
it's so ridiculous that it's just like yeah, they don't have any pictures of it. But it's just one of those things where it's like they're like, oh man, we can wait out the storm because there's a storm coming, and they're like, oh, we'll be able to wait it out here. No, they're not. There's no way they are waiting out this on thing, because it's like this. It looks. Have you ever played that game Raft or seen it?
I've seen it.
It's like that. That is the lab.
That's
it is
not how you science lab.
Yeah,
That
there
makes
is
no
a
sense.
there is a tent on the center platform with a hole in the middle. That way the shark can just boop, hello, and eat people, which it does multiple times. Like it does. There's like a flash to the past.
They've never put a hatch on it.
Well, there's a flash to the past where it does that, and then in present day that we're at, it does that as well. Oh, here we go. I found a picture of it.
Ooh, okay.
Let me see. Open image, new tab. That is the lab. It is a shack.
This is the
2 shacks.
government-funded research for shark manipulation.
Yep.
Okay.
There was a notebook and a shelf.
Yeah, that's all you need for your research. No computers, no like analysis tools, no
and the green building on the left shack is
building is a very generous word.
Yeah, that is outhouse / storage.
Ew, stinky.
Yep. And then so anyway, it's, as we say, lab is a very generous term, but they go there, and a couple dies there. They're like this hippie couple that it's like, yeah, we can blah, 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 this. So anyway, they do all that, and then they leave. But the whole reason they go to the lab is that one of the people, like, is, like, she studied weather, and she's like, there's this storm coming. And, like, this whole time, everyone's saying that they're going to sue this guy who's hosting this event and everything, because like his wife is divorcing him and she's not there, and it's like, this is false advertising, there's all this, and it's like, you guys knew what you're here for. And like that's like the majority of the people, it's like all the couples like, we're gonna sue you, and there's like this one woman who's just like pretty much done with her husband, that is like falling for the main character. And it's just like the whole time, like the main, like these two, they're like the main character, the guy who's like doing this event, at least from my watching, like there's no thing like from him that says that he's interested in her. There's
Oh,
nothing
good.
saying that like he's like cares for her, trying to split up him from him that he's trying to split her up from her husband. There's like nothing on there except there's scenes where because she's like the most competent out of them all. And so like they're talking and it's just like her husband starts getting more and more jealous and all that stuff to the point where it's like he wants to kill the dude. But anyway, like all that's going on, that's building, and yeah, so that's like this other subplot, and yeah, so I got all confused because I saw a picture of somebody else that's in the movie that made me think of that. So that whole reason is like they're all claiming to sue him, and they ask him like, "Hey, did you know this storm was coming?" He was like, "Yeah, but I thought like it would be something that we could bond together, help the stuff,
Boo.
like help." Yeah, and he's like, and everyone's like, "Oh no, we're definitely suing you." Like now, and it's like you guys already were, and it's just like, look, my whole staff's dead, my wife died,
I have nothing.
we're all gonna die here. It's like you can do whatever you want. Like I don't really care. And apparently, this lighthouse that was on there has been around since World War One. So it's like, yeah. And so they leave him. He's pretty much like in the lab as the shark is destroying, and he tells everyone, "Yeah, I'll run, get out of here, blah blah blah." And so they're all running to the lighthouse, and they're like, "There's no way we're gonna make it to the lighthouse because high tide and the storm's coming in. That's gonna bury the whole island underwater." Doesn't happen. I'm just gonna say right now, there's no storm that actually. It feels like they forgot to add the storm to the whole movie, but
Major plot point, but it never comes back up.
yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, they mention it so many times, and it's like there's wind, and like they color grade the everything to make it look like it's getting stormy. Never happens. Like it gets like night happens, and it's like 20 minutes. So, they forget like the day night cycle. So all that being said, they go and do that. He's left at the lab. It's like, oh my goodness, he's dead. And then we learn something else, that this shark can walk on land. It uses 4 of the heads as legs. And
That's less fun than Sharktopus, where he's just using his octopus tentacles, but okay.
yeah, and like I couldn't find a video of it, but when the shark walks, it shows the shark walking away, and it like scuttles away almost like a crab, like ah. But it's like they didn't know how to animate it well. And so whenever like the shark heads move like as legs, it is bad CGI where it's like like everything is like they like turned up the jiggle physics in its skin because it's just like the body doesn't know what it's supposed to be doing there.
They like
just,
rigged
like,
it poorly. It just was like, eh.
Yeah, and it's just like whatever. No one's watching this. I watched it. To the point where hey, the head you saw the scene where it got stabbed with the boomstick. There's another scene where they find a gun, and this is at the end. They shoot that same head, and the shark rips it off, blah blah blah. And then finally, or actually this one's in the middle, the guy, hey, I'm not dead even though the whole lab was destroyed. I also got this random weapon. I don't know what it is, but he like jumps. He's able to jump off a rock, cut off that head of the shark, and then fight the shark back. And it's the most effective weapon that they've ever had. I'm out of time.
In all of the movies, this is the one.
Yeah. And he just leaves it there. He just drops it on the ground and just runs away. And it's just like...
None of these people can finish the shark because they need more movies.
No, they do finish the shark. It's almost like Jaws-esque how they finish the shark because it's like it pops. They eventually have to go back to the boat. They have propane tanks in there, and they have a net. The shark like bursts through the bottom of the boat. They throw a net on it, and they stab it with something. So the shark is stuck, but then like it finally gets free, and it drags all the propane things with the flare, and somehow underwater it explodes and actually kills it. To to my knowledge. I'm guessing it's actually dead because there's not a 7-headed shark attack. Because I don't know where they're gonna put the shark head on this one.
It would have to go. It
Like
no
on the
longer
bottom
has.
or
It
the
no
top?
longer has a tail. It
Yeah.
just has a head. So it's
Then it's a shark
head, so-
shuriken. That does sound like a video game weapon that would be metal as all get out. But yeah, it's if you want a subpar relationship drama and a very bad CGI attack, like it, I will say, this does make me interested to see what the first movie was, and maybe even the second, because it's like it spawned 5 movies.
It
And
had
it's
to
just
have
like-
something about it. Yeah.
Yeah, like the first movie had to be somewhat decent, or at least get enough following.
Like Sharktopus level. Yeah.
Yeah, or like I almost thought about watching Sharknado, but I was forced to watch that against my will. My mom loved that series, so yeah, it's in the end. I don't know if Six-Headed Shark Attack, if I watched it, like that's the thing. I'm like sitting there. I'm like, would I like Sharktopus versus was it
Is it
wolf
Mega?
whale? Yeah,
Oh,
mega
was it
whale
wolf
or mega.
whale?
Was it
Because
wolf?
the other popular thing is the supersized crocodile in sci-fi, and that one tends
yeah.
to show up in the verses.
Yeah, I almost
Oh,
watched
there
Lake
was-
Placid. Yeah, but
I also thought about Lake Placid. I thought that would be really funny.
it would be fun if we watched 2 monster movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's one of those things. Like, would I have enjoyed the last Sharktopus movie if I didn't watch the first 2? And I think I would, because it's still ridiculous. Like Sharktopus is like, there's no lore to Sharktopus except scientists thought it'd be funny to take 2 and combine them together.
Yeah, the 2 greatest predators take a shark and take a super smart octopus, and if you put them together, you get
A freak.
that walks on land and eats the people.
Yeah. And in this,
Sharktopus.
it's like, yeah, and in this, it's like, I don't know. It feels like it's one of, I'm realizing some of my biggest complaints towards movies is when it's like, hey, this feels like 2 different scripts put together. Because, and it really feels like the shark doesn't even have a fun name. Like, they don't have a name for the shark.
Oh.
It's just like, oh no, it's here.
And then point.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking at the screen. Oh, yeah, so it's I'm looking at the Six-Headed Shark Attack movie poster, and the girl that's on the movie poster isn't even in the movie.
That's really funny.
I don't think... Yeah, they just put random people in here, because, like, there's... In each head, they have a different person, but it's like, none of them are in the movie. And I know this...
I
I don't
just
even...
watched it.
That, but like, because everyone except the host is wearing wetsuits because they had to go out to sea, and they're like, yeah, you have to put on the wetsuits, and because as soon as they put on the wetsuits, they're being attacked by this shark.
So they're in
And
their wetsuits the whole time.
Yeah, so they're in wetsuits the whole time except for the host, and in the movie poster, no one's wearing a wetsuit. There's like, I'm wondering if they just took the same movie poster for 5-headed shark and like from 2 to 5 and just photoshopped another head on it.
It's possible.
Now I'm curious. Where's no, it's different. Oh, Danny Trejo's in 3-headed shark.
He does appear in a lot of sci-fi movies. Pretty
Yeah.
funny.
They all have equally low ratings. 2-headed shark attack is a 2.5 on IMDb. 3-headed
Nice.
is a 2.7. 5 is a 3. 6 is a... I just saw it, 2.8.
Oh, so you watched one of the better ones.
Yeah, I don't know where 4-headed shark attack is. Do I hit this? Oh, there's Sharktopus. For some reason, Four-Headed Shark Attack is not on IMDb. Oh, it's featured in the worst of... Wait, featured in the worst movies of all time. What is this? Okay. But anyway, let's see. Okay, how big is the goof section? Oh, I figured it was going to be bigger.
Well, that assumes a lot of people are watching the movie and going on
Yeah.
IMDb to write up about it.
Yeah, there's something there. Oh, yeah, this was something that I thought was hilarious. So Duke, who's the guy who's the main character he was in this clip that I saw you that didn't get eaten. He's the host and all that stuff. He had like magical clothing the whole time because like there's multiple times where he's like diving into water, swimming, all that stuff. The next scene, completely dry.
You know,
and
if you're gonna host on an island, you gotta have magic clothes.
But the thing is, it's not like time passed. It's like he's wet mid-conversation, and then it's like it does a camera cut to like somebody else, and he's there, bone dry. Just like stuff like that. I was just cracking up at. But yeah, it's as I said, I don't think I will, but I don't know. It would be interesting to find out like what constitutes a good like movie. Is there like a certain actor like for a B horror movie that because this
sells it well enough? Yeah.
Yeah, because isn't Casper, I forget his last name, but the guy from Starship Troopers, isn't he in a lot of B-rate? Oh my goodness, someone made rated this a 10. Hold on. What is the?
Did they write a review or no?
Yeah, there's multiple on here. There's multiple. How many 10 reviews on? 18.
It got botted, but the opposite way.
Okay, this is just the first one. This has to be a fake review. Where it's like, astonishing. This movie is the most amazing movie I've ever seen. It has better special effects than Avatar and Star Wars and better acting than Godfather and Forrest Gump. It is better than any Best Picture Oscar winner. It deserves any and all Oscars. I highly recommend seeing this movie. And if you couldn't tell yet, this is sarcastic. This movie was amazingly awful. Yep.
Maybe somebody like did a YouTube like commentary on it, and they're people that watched it all did the because it is interesting. There's more than one cheesy 10-star review. So you did not watch the best one; you just watched the botted one.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I was
I
really
wonder
confused.
I wonder what the score would be if you didn't have these 10-star reviews. Would it be a 1?
I don't know. Those are only 18, and there's 1.8K reviews, and those were only 8.
Wow. Only 8 10-star reviews, and it didn't. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's true because, like, looking at it, like, here, let me just take a screenshot of this for you for the user reviews. Like, there we go. Here's the scale.
I'm just surprised almost 2,000 people have like rated this movie.
Yeah.
That's a lot of ones.
Yes, it is a lot of ones.
Watch if you have trouble falling asleep.
Yeah.
So great. I watched this 6 times, one for each head. You couldn't give it 6 stars though. That's funny.
So, but yeah, that is all that I have to say about this movie. And I will say, if you guys want to watch Six-Headed Shark Attack, I don't know if the other ones are better, but I will say that I think this will be best watched in a group. Like, you guys are just there to fart around, you have pizza, you're cracking jokes. This is what this movie's about. So that's all I got to say. And so now I hand it over to you, where it sounds like you watched a much better movie than I did.
Yeah, mine had a plot. So if you want to set up the timer and all that, I'll give you a second. But so what I watched was the current what is currently the last movie in the Paddington series.
I almost watched that one too. Paddington in
Yeah.
Peru.
Yes, Paddington in Peru, because I was able to find that one where I have access to a Netflix account. I do not pay for it directly, but I have access to a Netflix account, so I was able to watch that last night. And it is funny that you went for, well, I've seen all the major series and all of that, so you went to sci-fi. I was like, you know what? I don't really watch children's movies. Let me go that direction.
You're good. You can keep
Yeah.
going.
All right.
Yeah,
And
everything
then so I will say, like, kind of like how you said, where, like, are these characters in the other movies? Paddington, they definitely are reoccurring characters, because the movie literally only gives you 5 minutes of, like, Paddington writing a letter to his aunt in Peru, and is like, so-and-so is going to college, so-and-so is an inventor, so-and-so does this, and I was like, okay, I'm getting the speed run of who all of the family members are, like, immediately. And then they do a lot of references, like, oh, when she was in London. I was like, right, there are 2 other movies. But what I will say, surprisingly, I didn't expect this because, like, children's movie, I did end up laughing quite a bit throughout Paddington in Peru because it's so British. Like, so British in terms of, like, the humor and everything. I saw one of the actresses in the movie, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a good time. Do you remember the hotel manager in The Lobster?
Yes.
She's in it.
Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, I like her. She was in, like, Peep Show. She's in a lot of things. I think famously she plays the Queen in one of, like, the long-running TV series. I forget what show it is off the top of my head, but I think she's a fantastic actress. I think she has great comedic timing. There's literally a moment in the movie. So, okay, let me start with the premise. So the premise is you've got Paddington. He has flashbacks of where he came from in Peru. And Strider and I got confused because Strider's like, are there bears in Peru? So I was like, I mean, there's mountains. He was like, that doesn't mean there's bears. And he looked it up. The smaller variety of speckled or spectacled bears are in Peru, but Paddington is clearly a brown bear. So, like, he's not from, like, there's no reason for them to be in Peru because, like, the climate and everything, right? But, so we have a flashback of Paddington living in Peru, trying to get an orange, and then kind of gets lost, and then gets picked up and taken care of by who he calls Aunt Lucy. And she lives in, like, this tree house thing, or whatever, I guess. Again, haven't seen the rest of the series. I'm just getting, like, little, like, flashes of things. So, in the beginning, he's writing a letter giving her, like, an info dump about his current life. And then he gets a letter from the woman who, like I said, was, like, in The Lobster and is in a lot of other things. And I think she's very funny. She's playing the head nun to a retirement village of bears in Peru. Huh. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, oh, your Aunt Lucy, she's, like, she's having a terrible time. She seems to be, like, forgetting where she is. I think you should come visit her, or something like that. I was like, oh my god, is this children's movie going to be about bears with dementia? Am I going to cry to this, like, children's movie about bears? So then, for whatever reason, his adoptive family, I guess we'll say, because it's kind of like a Stuart Little situation if you're not familiar with Paddington. Apparently again, I learned this through flashbacks. Apparently, Paddington was just in the train station and had a note on him that said, please take care of this bear, thank you. And in the one clip they show in the movie, which I feel like isn't a spoiler if you've seen any of the other Paddingtons, this lady goes, well, shouldn't you go home? And he's like, I'm trying to find one. And then she adopts him, I guess. Okay. I'm doing the best that I can.
Yeah.
So he's living with his family, and he tells his family, I gotta go to Peru. My Aunt Lucy's not doing well. And they're like, okay, as a family, we will go to Peru. And I was like, whoa, guys. And the dad of the family apparently has a job, kind of like, I guess it's like an insurance firm, but they say, like, he has to do, like, risk assessment, and he has, like, he's very risk adverse. And they're like, no, you gotta, like, carpe diem if you want to actually do all this stuff. Like, you have to embrace the risk to understand how to, like, manage it or whatever. He's like, okay. And he goes, no, Peru is so scary. Actually, this might be what I need for my job to get that promotion finally. So he agrees to go to Peru. and they go to Peru, and they end up at the retirement village, and stuff starts to get suspicious. And oh, there's an older lady with the family too who also does electrical work. I don't know. I forget her name. She has an important role later, but so they say like, "Hey, there's like no clues or anything." And Paddington goes into the house that his aunt was living in, like they have cottages, and it felt like Paddington is kind of like a character in D&D that fails forward, because he literally goes, they show a shot of a map tucked behind a picture frame that has Paddington and his aunt in it, and it has a very obvious map tucked into it. And he goes, "I found a clue." And it pans to him fighting with a loose floorboard and goes, "This floorboard is loose. It must be a secret layer." Jumps on the floorboard, hits him in the face. He rolls backward, hits the table. The table shakes the wall that it's sitting next to, and then the map falls on the ground. He goes, "That's the clue she wanted." And I was like, what? And I look at Sarah, I was like, "Is this failing forward?" He's like, "Yeah." And then he takes 2 HP from getting hit from the floorboard, but he got his clue to go to the next objective. So he has this map, and the map is clearly some indication of something in the middle of the Amazon forest. And I was like, that seems like a terrible idea for the family to go into. And the whole family's like, "Well, we gotta go." I was like, "You have 2 teenage children. You're gonna go into the rainforest unprepared?" But they go to the mother nun, and played again by this very funny lady. And they go, "Hey, let's all go into the rainforest together." And she gets like this far away, like 1,000-yard stare. And she looks up at the wall, and there's a mural of like tree people. And it just like shows her staring blankly at it. She's like, "We don't go in the rainforest." I was like, why is this so funny? And it's so British. And there's even a scene after they have this conversation, they pan to one of the other nuns, and she just has this look on her face where she's like, "Ugh." And they stay on her for about 5 seconds, too long. And I was like, this is so funny and awkward. What is this? And then it does, after like that stuff, then they go into the typical like children's movie things where they're like, it's a grand adventure. The stakes are high, but not high. Because me being the grown adult that I am, they essentially end up hiring a riverboat who says that they can give them a tour and lead them to the place that they're looking for, but it'll be dangerous, but because they have the riverboat, they'll be able to guide them. And then antics happen, and I'm like, how are they alive? How are they alive? Like, there's a scene where someone gets left behind in the rainforest, and the one character goes, "Peace, I'll pick you up tomorrow." And I was like, in the Amazonian rainforest, Bear Grylls says you cannot survive a night in the Amazonian rainforest. And he's leaving, like, this teenager to say, like, "Be back for you later, peace." I was like, and then, like, so some of that was hard for me to, like, let go of, but I just kept doing the thing in the back of my mind. I was like, it's a children's movie. Of course nobody's gonna die. Even though I think I was probably skewed because, have you seen the movie... I forget what it's called. I think it's Green Jungle or something like that with Daniel Radcliffe. I watched it.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I watched it a little while ago. That one is a story about how people were promised a shortcut through the rainforest to like a lost city, and then how much they struggle going through the wilderness because the tour guide that they used was either a scammer or like got them lost, and then they're trying to survive in the rainforest, and it's like based off of a true story. So watching, like, I think I kept like overlaying the 2 movies where the one with Daniel Radcliffe, that's like a really like dark
it's
story.
just called Jungle.
Oh, just Jungle.
I was looking it up, and the first one that came up was Green Inferno, and I'm like, I know it's not that.
No, that's just a straight up horror movie. But yeah, so yeah, Jungle. And yeah, in that one, they're dehydrated, they're covered in bugs, they get injured, right? Like, all really terrible things, because the wilderness is really rough. And then you have Paddington and his family that are like, "Haha, rapids! I got out fine."
Well, obviously, Daniel Radcliffe didn't have a magical talking raincoat bear.
That's true. And Paddington is very cute. He's very endearing. He very much, like, kind of like the joke I have about him failing forward a lot of the time. He also is, I wouldn't say naive, but he's, like, trusting. So every time he runs into a new character, he goes, why would you hurt me? And you're like, oh, you're just a little guy. Who would hurt you? But naturally in these movies, there's like a guy who is selfish and learns his lessons. And I think that it was really fun. Antonio Banderas, also famously Zorro, is kind of like, I wouldn't say he's like the evil guy, but he's like an antagonist at some point in the movie. Like he starts out being a nice guy and then greed takes him over. But I think he has a really funny role because they set him up to say that he's related to Spaniards, and the place that Paddington is trying to get to seems to be the first marker to get you into El Dorado, famously like the city. And Antonio Banderas' character is like, I'm just a guy who like does river tours, but is apparently related to Spaniards and conquistadors who wanted to find El Dorado.
How convenient.
And they have this little silly like back and forth where Antonio Banderas in various costumes sees like his ancestors who are all very greedy, saying like, kill him, take the gold, like. And then Paddington's just sitting there like, who are you talking to? And Antonio Banderas is like, no one, I will not turn you into bear stew. And he's like, me? Bear stew? But it has a lot of like silly play with that. And then there was one action sequence that Strider and I, again, being adults with fully formed brains, struggled with. Towards the end, they find themselves in like, it kind of looks like Machu Picchu, honestly, like the way that the stone buildings are set up. And they have a situation where it was very much like, if they just stepped to the side, it wasn't a problem, but they kept making it a problem. Because for some reason, I said, hey, they Indiana Jones themselves, where there's a giant boulder rolling around. And they kept doing the thing where they kept running in a straight line. And I was like, there's all these stone buildings. If you step to the left, and Strider would be like, hey, there's an outcropping there. He could have stepped to the right. Like, but instead they're running in the straight line going, oh no, this boulder. And I was like, there's like windows. There's like walls. There's...
Kind of like the end of Prometheus.
Yeah. Like, you didn't have to do this to yourself, but...
She just got out of a C-section. She wasn't thinking clearly. Or that was right before the C-section. I can't remember.
Right before, yeah. But, no, I think overall, though, it is, like, a very cute movie. It was very endearing. If you can forget about the fact that there should be perils and danger going through through Peru's Amazonian forest, I think it's pretty fun. There was like a whole mystery plot and silly things that Strider was able to call. Like, he was like, oh, what if that character is this? And I was like, that would be funny. And then there was the big reveal, and I was like, good job. He was like, yeah, I've seen movies. So I wouldn't say that it was groundbreaking in any way. Like, the plot is a very typical, like, children's book story plot, where you have Paddington is told one thing, he learns a lesson about it, and then he makes a big choice. And then and there are consequences for the antagonists. They either have the change of heart, which is like, oh, if you don't let your greed take you over, then you can live a better life. Or some other antagonists in the movie get like banished to the middle of nowhere, so they suffer consequences for their actions, you know. So it's very fun. I think when I was double checking things for the Wikipedia, I think they announced that there is going to be a fourth in the Paddington movies. Will I watch it? I don't know. Like, I do see why the early Paddingtons were probably very popular. Maybe I'll go back and watch those. And Strider and I did talk about it. I asked him who his favorite character in the movie was, and he did say Paddington, because he said that the rest of the characters were definitely not fleshed out. And I was like, that makes sense, because Paddington's the main character. And also, they might have been fleshed out in the first two movies, so then by the time the two of us sat down and watched this third one, they were like, oh, throw away, you know, a little side comment, because they've been established in the other movies. Because I think they wanted it to be a tearjerker in this movie, and we were just sitting there going, we don't know their relationship. We just know that they live together, so why are they all sad? And also, it seems like the family, like I kept saying, hey Strider, maybe we shouldn't adopt a bear. I don't care how cute he is, because Paddington is very cute, very sweet, very polite. I don't know if we should adopt him, because what if we end up having to go into the rainforest in Peru for him? And he was like, or we could adopt the bear and tell him, you gotta go on your own and figure out what's wrong with your aunt without going with him. It's like, oh, also valid. But yeah, there's just like, they snuck in some like very like dry or very silly British humor that I think helped me out quite a bit in watching the movie. I think if it didn't have that, I would have been like, oh, it's just another children's movie. So
Yeah.
I know you said you thought about watching it. I think it's fun. I think it holds up.
Yeah, I heard good thing. Like I remember when the first one or the second one came out, and these guys
I
that
know
I
they're
watched.
rated. Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
know they're rated really well, like the first one or two.
Yeah, and there was a guy that it didn't seem like a movie he would like, and he kept like it felt like he just watched it or something like that, and for like I'm pretty sure all these videos that they recorded was in the course of like a week, but he the way they spaced him out is that he talked about Paddington 2 for like a month straight.
Yeah, I do see reviews. It says third time not so lucky. It looked amazing, but not as good as the first two. And somebody else said nothing could be as good as the first two, and agree that the first two are the best ever made.
Mm-hmm.
So
He goes to prison somehow. I keep seeing a clip of that. He
That was
peels
very funny.
oranges or something. Yeah. Well, then the other thing with excuse me, Antonio Banderas, it's just whenever I think of him, I just think of him in Mask of Zorro. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. You might have seen the clip because there's a clip that goes around every once in a while where he's dressed up as Zorro and he's just like he's in this party. He's just like, yes, that's right, all this stuff. He's saying it's just like, and it's like. He's like, okay, and he's like, I forget whatever the character's name is like, and I'm sorry for the window, and he's like, what do you mean sorry for the window? And then it just cuts to him just going, ha 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 ha, and just jumps through the window, like breaking it.
I think Antonio Banderas, like, I think he's actually really funny. And I don't think a lot of people think of him as a comedian, but doesn't he voice Cat in Boots? Or
Yeah,
whatever
he's,
that series
Puss in
is.
Boots. Yeah,
Puss in Boots, yeah.
yeah, he's in Shrek too. I'm just looking at his Wikipedia
Yeah,
thing.
as the cat, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Because he's basically Zorro, but as a cat. I
yeah,
remember
he's in Spy Kids, that series.
Oh, he's the dad in Spy Kids.
And
yeah.
like that was my introduction to him.
Mine was the old Zorro movie. My parents used to watch the Zorro with him and, is it Catherine Zeta-Jones as the love interest?
Yeah, that sounds right. Oh, let's see. There's Mask of Zorro. I think it was that one. And then there's another one, Legend of Zorro. I can't remember. What's it? Through the window. Oh, I misspelled window. Of course, it's bringing me to One Piece.
I mean, I think the second season came out, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
For the live action, I should say. There's a bajillion seasons of One Piece actual anime and manga. Oh, so this was not directed by the same director. So for Paddington. Paddington 3 was not directed by the same director as the first two. So that makes me curious about the first two. Like, if I thought this one was enjoyable enough, and everyone says the first two are, like, really great, that could be a key difference, that the director is different.
Yeah. So it could be. Yeah, I don't know. It's like Paddington is one of those things that I've always heard good things about, so but yeah, it is fun. You watched I didn't even think of childhood trilogies. But the thing is, it's like, I don't think a lot of childhood stuff for that because I know I watched a lot of like children's movies growing up.
Yeah,
so
like Little Mermaid, Aladdin, all of those have like series, and all of them I've at least watched one or two.
Yeah,
Lion King.
And it could be, I guess, more modern stuff as well. Like, there's another movie I was thinking of of watching, but I didn't know if it was the last one, and I was too lazy to look it up, which is the Raid series, which that's a action kung fu series. And I know there's at least 2. I own them. But I don't know if there's a third one, but I hear everyone talk very highly of the second one because essentially what it is like this cop is going into this like apartment building, and it's like owned by some like drug lord kingpin, and oh, your time's up. And
Gasp.
he has to go up every level. Like he's
Kinda
going
like
up
the
every...
Mortal Kombat towers.
Yeah, but it's just like each level, it's like it's got like the one dude that's just like, and they say it's very like video game-esque, where it's like, here's the boss that you have to beat to get to the next, like to get to the next elevator, like however it's set up. And for some reason he has to go through every single thing, but it's just like the fight sequences in there are like, I remember hearing people talk very highly about it, and so I was like, I want to watch it eventually. So who knows? Maybe the wheel will give me a reason to watch it.
Wheel time. I did have it open. Let me make it full screen.
Yeah, spinning the wheel. So if you guys made it this far and wonder what the heck we're talking about for the wheel, we wrote a ton of prompts, which is what this whole series is based off of. And in a second, Hop is going to spin the wheel. She might be spinning it already. Woo! I didn't write down
because I forgot OBS is one of the things I need to have open for this.
And I was like, and that's also good because I didn't write down the time. But yeah, it's gonna let us know what we are watching.
Sorry, it's doing that thing where it says OBS is open, but it's really not open. See, look, I'm rusty because I don't live stream the way I used to. All right.
It's okay. I'll be that way soon.
Oh, is it? It's popping up. Okay. I opened up Task Manager into this whole thing. Okay. Full screen this. Got this. Start recording. Okay, it is time for me to spin the wheel.
Spinning the wheel where we have an idea what we're talking about because it tells us.
So our next movie prompt is...
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm so upset.
That's not one of the ones we wrote.
Watch the other host's last watched movie.
Yes.
No, I don't want to watch the 6-headed shark.
And I ruined it for you already.
Oh, okay. Just send me the link of where I can watch it.
It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi.
I figured.
Oh, shoot. Am I going to have to spend money?
I watched Paddington on Netflix, so if you know somebody with an account.
I don't. So that is my curse to bear. Wait.
Bear?
Hold up. Wait. Wasn't there something that the loser can choose to respin the wheel?
Are we respinning the wheel?
That's your choice. You lost.
I'm gonna respin the wheel. Wait. Let me...
I was like, hold up. I remember... Oh, you'd made the dice roll thing in there.
Yeah. It wasn't too bad because we had the thing already. So let me re-put this back on. Oh, wait. I didn't mean to copy it. Oh, delete that. Okay.
All right.
So...
Well, now we got to...
These are separate... These are separate clips because I stopped recording. So
yeah, I gotta write down a second time now.
All right, let me know when to spin times 2. This is my last.
You can start.
That I get.
Yep, okay. You can start now.
Spinning the wheel times 2 because I made a rule once upon a time.
Yeah,
and I forgot about it.
Just imagine if we tied 3 times, you would have been stuck with that.
Stuck with it. All right. Now the new prompt for next week: an A24 film that did not make the list. This is fun.
Okay.
See, look, this is one that if I spun the other prompt, I would love to watch 2 A24 films back to back.
Yeah. There's still a chance that could happen. Well, depending. So here's the question though, because it's been a year since since we watched that. Do we want to say, hey, any A24 film or the 2024 and older?
I think any A24 is fine because that's
what I thought. So
we talked about it'd be fun to watch the Spike Lee movie, based on the Kurosawa film.
Oh yeah, it is A24.
That is an A24. I'm always thinking.
So
saved myself a 6-headed shark attack.
Yeah, we can move this rule up here. It'll be the golden rule.
The golden one.
But yes, so join us next week as we take another dive into the A24 films, which means I get to spend a butt ton of time today and maybe tomorrow looking up what movie I want to watch.
I will say is if you want to ramble for a minute, that'll put us over an hour 15. Because I noticed the really funny thing. When, like, what I watched, I consider an average movie, so I didn't have a lot to contribute. But what you watched, you're like, this was a waste of my time. Yeah. You're like, I have to tell every detail about this movie because no one will believe me that I watched this. So I had someone in my horror book club send a meme that was like, when the book is like a 7 out of 10 and it's a thin thing, like a really thin book, when you hated the book, it's like as big as like yes. a dictionary.
Yeah, I almost want you to watch it so you, oh wow, I wasn't even trying. Yep, okay, well now we gotta remove 2 rules. I was like, I kind of want you to watch it so you can share in the pain, but you escaped this time. Okay, so now we gotta choose 2 rules to get rid of.
I'm going to say you get to choose the 2 for this week. Because loser makes rules. We'll say winner gets a takeaway rule.
Well, since it's 2, why don't we both... Let's share the responsibility. Both pick one. Now, I do think it's fair to say lowest goes first and winner picks the die. I think those ones... Yeah, those ones are evergreen. I think even if we get the one where we reset all the rules, I think those ones are kind of like defining. Mm-hmm. So... let's see.
I'll get rid of one of the win or lose 4 times because
that's what I was thinking. It's like which math one is annoying.
So I'll just color it red for now so we remember like
I think the one you just put your cursor next to is one. Yeah, lose 4 times in a row, subtract your results. That's what I'm thinking as I'm looking through there. Because if your die falls off the table, it's fun. If you need to subtract your rules, oh well, I just realized that makes 2 rules invalid.
Yeah. How about this one's not terrible math, so let's reset that. What if we do?
Yeah, well let's get rid of that one.
Yeah.
So there we go. So okay. So the 2 rules that we just got rid of is if you need to subtract your result and you still don't win, you can choose one or both die to re-roll. And if you win 4 times in a row, multiply your results by 2. So, yeah. Which we really haven't run into that. Oh, but next time...
But it is... oh, yeah, you're 2 in a row right now.
Yeah, and so are you. Because, lose twice in a row, you get advantage... So, yeah, you get advantage on your rolls, and I think... No, there is no winner. So, anyway. That is it. I got to remember to take them out of the spreadsheets, or of the rule list. I just need to find out how to, score it out. But join us next time as we do a flashback to 2024, as we go back to A24, where now we watched 26 A24 for 2024.
Oh, 26 A24
yeah,
films
24
for 2026.
Yeah.
Look at us.
We got there. But thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.